Tonight we're doing something a little bit different. We're actually tasting a commercial beer, but it is a special commercial beer. It is from Mr. Dan Kennedy in New Hampshire. Sent it to us with the intention of having as many of us try it as possible. We don't have Michael Dawson tonight, but I'm going to save some for him another night. This is the only American-made but fully authentic certified Trappist Ale. It is Spencer Ale, made at St. Joseph's Abbey in Spencer, Massachusetts, and we'll talk a little bit more about the beer, and we'll taste the beer, but first we need to get some beer. Alright, we're going to do, maybe I'll just do one of these on camera just so we get the idea, but oh, I probably could have done the old tilt and pour. Alright, so here we go. It is a 6.5% alcohol blonde ale. It is made with barley from, malted barley from New York State and elsewhere.
And Wisconsin, we saw on the website.
Wisconsin.
Munich malt.
Munich?
Caramel Munich.
Well,
Caramel
there
Munich
may be a
malt
little
from
bit
Wisconsin.
of that. That's not like a huge component in here. It's pretty much
Spoiler alert.
a pale, you know, base malt. Maybe even Pilsner. I don't know. It's possible.
Proprietary strain, a proprietary blend of 2-row and 6-row.
Oh, okay.
And then the Caramel Munich specialty malt from Scotty.
But the featured player here is the Belgian yeast that comes from a family of yeast cultured for other Trappist breweries in the middle of the 20th century. In the middle of the 20th century. Basically means the yeast probably is from Belgium, possibly even be used by other Trappist breweries or at least other Belgian breweries. Why is this special? Well, have you heard of Chimay or Val, Rochefort, La Trappe, West Mall, or West Bletterin? Possibly there may be other ones. Those are all officially designated Trappist breweries as designated by I don't know who, but there's some sort of board or organization that
The commission
qualifies that. And this is the very first one to be included in that group, but this is made in the United States, so it is pretty unique. Dan Kennedy, thank you, sir.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Keep playing the banjo.
DK.
We appreciate it. He thought, hey, let me send these bozos some of this beer and let them try it. And so what do we think of this? We've been pre-judging it a little bit before we started rolling.
The yeast definitely seems to be the workhorse. I don't know if you just said that literally or...
The key ingredient, they even, the
peppery.
documentation talk about it as the key ingredient, and I mean, that's, I can't disagree.
Yeah, you don't get a whole lot of the malt.
Or
screaming
hops.
at you. Yeah, for Willamette and Nugget hops, both are kind of characterful on their own. You don't get that. It's pretty much the banana,
There's the
clovey,
banana.
spicy pepper.
Clove.
And it's surprisingly cloudy for not having anything like wheat or anything, so
Well,
I'm wondering if that yeast
It's bottle
also-
conditioned, and I didn't pour a lot of the bottom dregs in on purpose, but there's some.
A little hazy.
You know, a person could
I don't mind it.
attempt to, depending on what they condition it or prime it with, if they prime it with yeast, but this might be one that a person could try to culture up. But it's kind of just a clean malt profile and pretty simple. I mean, it's I would guess, you said 2-row and 6-row. 6-row, what's somebody, Chris Paynes, what's the characteristic of that as opposed to 2-row as far as what you get in the taste or body or effect or anything?
I think there's more protein in 6-row and more enzymes. So if you were to have a lot of adjuncts, that would kind of help out to have extra enzymes, but it's not something that's typically used because you don't
Right.
want too much protein. But
Is it harder to grind and mash and deal with?
I've never used it.
Yeah, I think there's something to that, but I was just wondering if it somehow made it thinner or anything. It's a fairly dry beer, as some Belgians are, but it's certainly enjoyable. I was talking off camera, what does this compare to any other Trappist ones that we can think of? And one of the most notable blonde ones is Orval. But there's a triple.
Carmelite?
No.
Oh,
I don't know. No, I was thinking there might be a Trappist triple, but I'm blanking on it. But it's not really a triple. I mean, they call it a blonde ale. It's not like a golden ale. It doesn't taste kind of sweet or big like a golden ale. Triples can be kind of sweet and big. It's not like that. It's, you know what? It's kind of like a little bit of a farmhouse character. I mean, I don't know if there is wheat in here, but it's kind of rustic. It's kind of farmy, rustic tasting.
I get an earthy character from the Willamette and a little bit of herbal from the nugget. And on top of the spiciness and the clove from the yeast, it certainly dries out your mouth, which is what you're going for in a Belgian. So
I'm trying to tell if the bitterness that I taste is from, how much is from the hops and what's from the yeast, because I think some of the bitterness is from the yeast, but there's some hops in here too. But yeah, I mean, it's a well-made beer, and it's pretty, I think the novelty of the whole, I don't know, novelty's not kind of a patronizing word, but the, you know, the uniqueness of having this cool Belgian thing being made in the U.S., excuse me, it's kind of carbonated too, is something that any beer fan, and especially if you like Belgians, you're going to want to try this eventually. So I'm give it a thumbs up. I don't know. I think we sound like we're a little uncertain on how we think of it. What do you guys think of it?
I like it. I don't want to compare it to anything else, you know, kind of international or even domestic, just because it has this Trappist designation doesn't mean it should be held to anything else Trappist. So it's kind of nice. It's northeasty. I want to say it kind of fits in with what Ommegang kind of started in this country in general, which is just experimenting
with.
That's
in New York, right?
Yep, with just the classic traditional idea, but also doing their own thing kind of with it. So I mean, this is cool. They claim they're only going to make only this beer for the first X amount of years of existence. So they're obviously working on it, honing it in,
and they are serious about this brewery. They're gonna expect to brew about 4,000 barrels in 2014. 4,000.
40,000.
No, that is the capacity, I think, of the brewery, isn't it? So they built a brewery that can capacity to brew 40,000 barrels a year. They'll start out brewing twice a week for a total of 4,000 barrels in 2014. So they're only starting out at 1/10 of the potential. So I mean, they're really hoping that they're going to be able to gain market share and sell a lot of this beer, and they're looking to continue to make more. So good luck to them. That's a nice, fine effort. Thanks again, Dan.
We always appreciate it.
See you guys later.